Captain Marvel died a hero, or so the world believed. Statues were raised. Songs were sung. But Spider-Man discovered her last words were erased. And the data she hid in his suit changed everything. Earth was never in danger. It was a test. She didn't save Earth. She selected it. And now the real threat knows who survived. Because Captain Marvel never died. She disappeared to join them. The world stopped for her. Captain Marvel's body crashed through the clouds like a comet, glowing with the last embers of cosmic fire. She landed in the Atlantic with a seismic impact that triggered tidal warnings from Miami to Morocco. But she wasn't breathing when they pulled her out. Her final blast had saved the Earth again, and this time it cost her everything. New York built a monument. Paris renamed a bridge. Stark Tower ran a week-long power grid in her honor. And Spider-Man? He stood at the center of the celebration, silent behind his mask, clutching the last gift she ever gave him, an upgrade to his suit, a last-minute favor from Carol Danvers herself. Peter didn't speak much that day. He just listened. But weeks later, while swinging across Brooklyn, something went wrong. His suit buckled mid-air. Not a mechanical failure, not even a system error. It was deliberate. The HUD went black, then blinked blue, an override, buried deep in the code, activated by time and distance. Peter landed hard on a rooftop, clutching his ribs, gasping as the interface stuttered. Then her voice played. "Peter, if you're hearing this, I didn't die saving Earth. I died hiding something." The voice wasn't an AI replica. It was her, tired, cracked, and afraid. He sat frozen as the message continued, flickering on the small internal display. Her face appeared, Captain Marvel, bruised and bleeding, somewhere in deep space, whispering fast and glancing off screen. "I need you to listen. They think Earth passed the test. But the test wasn't real. I called them." Peter's pulse accelerated. This wasn't a warning. It was a confession. I was working with them. Not Kree, not Skrull, something older. I didn't know what they really wanted, not until it was too late. So I gave them what they wanted and bought Earth time. She looked directly into the camera, one eye swollen shut. "You need to shut down the beacon. It's hidden in your suit. Stark's code was the key. I left the lock where you'd never look, beneath your voice commands. If they find out, you know." The message cut out. Peter staggered backward, hands trembling. His suit systems flared. A new layer of code unfolded. Alien glyphs over Stark OS. Lines he didn't understand, pulsing with data, frequencies that weren't human. A second interface blinked online, beacon status active. The beacon hadn't shut off when Carol died. It was still transmitting. Panic hit like a punch to the gut. He yanked the mask off and threw it across the roof. His mind spiraled. Why him? Why hide this? Why bury it inside his suit? Why not tell the Avengers? Because she didn't trust them anymore. Because they would have stopped her. He thought of the last time he saw her. She smiled too hard, hugged him too long. She knew. The hero he worshipped hadn't died protecting Earth. She died protecting the signal. Peter grabbed the mask again and stared at the HUD. There was no off switch, no override, no failsafe. The signal pulsed every 6 hours, broadcasting a set of coordinates, not Earth's, but something orbiting just beyond Saturn. And the name attached to the protocol chilled him. Project Seed World. He opened the channel, just once, just to see if someone was listening. They were. A pulse came back instantly, binary strings flooding the suit, symbols he couldn't read, then a single chilling message. Seed World status, confirmed viable. Phase 2 inbound. His stomach twisted. The words repeated in dozens of languages. Mandarin, Russian, Xandarian, Wakandan, even Kree. Peter reached for his communicator. No signal. Whatever replied killed every outbound frequency. Even Jarvis clones couldn't break it. The suit rebooted again, slower this time. It was fighting something. Not malware, not an attack. It was evolution. The suit's synthetic layers started reshaping, the nanofiber replicating a new design. Peter screamed and tore it off, the fibers crawling like insects across his skin. He ripped the chest plate and slammed it against the roof until the blue core stopped blinking. The beacon fell silent, for now, but the message was out. Someone or something had heard. He needed help, fast. The next morning, Peter stood outside what was left of Stark Tower, eyes locked on the charred insignia. War Machine greeted him at the gate. "You're early, kid." Peter didn't answer. He just held out the broken mask, the flickering HUD barely active. "I think Captain Marvel lied to us," he said. "And I think she lied to all of you too." War Machine scanned the mask. The interface displayed Carol's final message again, glitching through layers of encryption. Rhodey didn't speak for a long time. When he finally looked up, his face was grim. "She told me Earth was safe," he muttered. Peter stepped closer. "She told me Earth was next." Just then, the ground trembled. Not an earthquake, an orbital shift. The Stark satellite grid blinked red. Peter turned. Overhead, a second moon had appeared beside Earth's orbit. No sound, no warning, and it was hollow. The beacon had worked, and whatever Carol called was already here. The code inside the suit. The hollow moon wasn't a moon at all. By dawn, every major telescope on Earth confirmed it. A colossal engineered sphere drifting into perfect orbit. No propulsion, no heat signature, no life signs. Just silence. And then it started pulsing. Once every hour, the same rhythm Peter had seen in the suit. In the Avengers' underground command chamber, screens flickered with the same blue pattern Carol had left behind. Strange stood beside War Machine, watching the pulse repeat. "This isn't a signal," Strange said. "It's synchronization." Peter was still shaking. His mask lay on the table, scorched and broken. The hidden code still active beneath its circuits. "I opened the file she left," he said quietly. "It wasn't human code. It was something that learns." Rhodey frowned. "You mean an AI?" Peter shook his head. "No, it changes itself, like it's rewriting what I am allowed to see." The pattern on the screens shifted again, forming into lines of alien text. Strange raised his hand. A small rune glowed in his palm, translating the language. The translation appeared on screen. "Seed world confirmed. Awaiting host activation." No one spoke. Strange broke the silence first. She wasn't calling for help. She was calling for evaluation. Peter's stomach tightened. Evaluation for what? "To see if Earth was ready," Strange said, his voice low. "And whatever she contacted has decided it is." Suddenly, alarms wailed. A satellite feed lit up with an incoming signal. The same signature from Carol's last known location. "She's alive," Peter whispered. But the coordinates didn't point to deep space anymore. They pointed to inside the hollow moon. War Machine slammed his fist on the console. "Suit up. We're going in." But before they could launch, the lights flickered again. The main display morphed, showing a ghostly face made of static and blue light. It wasn't Carol. It was her voice without a body. "I told you not to look." Peter's heart stopped. The voice was hers, but the tone wasn't. Calm, empty, like a recording stripped of emotion. "Carol." The voice continued, overlapping itself in metallic echoes. "You have accelerated the cycle. The seed will begin." Then came a pulse, a physical wave that shattered every light in the room. Energy surged through the floor, crawling like lightning. Peter grabbed his chest. His suit was reforming on its own. He screamed as the nanotech spread across his arm like liquid metal, etching glowing patterns into his veins. "Turn it off," Rhodey shouted. "I can't," Peter gasped. "It's not responding." Strange's hands glowed red as he drew sigils in the air, trying to contain the surge. But even his magic recoiled, as if the power itself rejected interference. Peter fell to his knees, the symbols in his skin now pulsing in sync with the hollow moon. "Stop fighting it," the voice said again. "You were chosen." Then silence. Peter ripped off what was left of the armor and threw it against the wall, breathing hard. His heart raced like it was running out of rhythm. "Chosen for what?" he shouted. No one answered. But in the data feed behind them, the alien code changed again. Strange's eyes narrowed. "It's not random. Look at this. Every line starts with the same word. He highlighted the text. The translation filled the screen. Host. Rhodey clenched his jaw. Host for what? Strange exhaled slowly. For whatever Carol brought back. A second later, a feed from the moon sphere activated. They could see movement, a glowing corridor opening like a mouth, blue light spilling into space. A shape stepped forward, humanoid but shifting, its body like liquid glass, reflecting every face that looked at it. Is that her? Peter whispered. The thing tilted its head. You shouldn't have opened the beacon, Peter. It was her, or at least what was left of her. Strange raised a hand, forming a shield as the holographic feed distorted. That's not Carol. That's something wearing her memory. The entity smiled, a perfect replica of Captain Marvel's expression. I'm not your enemy. I'm your proof. Earth survived because I let it. Peter stepped forward, his voice trembling. You let it? You killed yourself. I simulated my death, the entity replied. To complete the test, the council needed to see if humanity would mourn or move on. You did both. War Machine's voice cracked. The council, an interstellar network older than your sun, she said. They cleanse planets that fail to balance. I made Earth pass, but your interference with the beacon has undone that protection. Peter's voice rose. Then tell them to stop. The entity tilted its head again. They won't. They've seen your potential. They want what's inside you now. What's inside me? Me, she said simply. I chose you as my successor. You carry the code that binds their machines to life. Peter froze. You mean? Yes, she said softly. You're the next seed. Before anyone could react, the feed cut out. The hollow moon flared with blinding light, not an explosion, but activation. Rings unfolded from its surface like mechanical petals, aligning toward Earth. Strange shouted over the alarms. They're creating a tether. If it locks on, Earth becomes part of it, an artificial node. Then we break it, Rhodey barked. Launch everything we have. Peter stood motionless, staring at his trembling hands. The blue veins still pulsed. He could feel the sphere's heartbeat. Every pulse matched his own. She's linked to me, he said. If I break the link, she dies. But if I don't, billions die, Strange finished grimly. Peter swallowed hard. Then there's no choice. He put the mask back on. The AI flickered alive again, the broken fragments of Carol's final voice still echoing in his ears. You're stronger than you think, she said faintly. But you'll have to become something you've never been, the liar. He didn't understand. Not yet. Outside, Iron Legion drones soared toward the moon sphere, followed by energy flares from Wakanda's defense satellites. But every strike vanished against invisible barriers. The structure didn't fight back. It absorbed. In seconds, every energy signature pointed back to one source, Peter's suit. Strange turned sharply. Peter, it's using you as a conduit. He fell to one knee, electricity arcing from his body. Then I'll overload it. Don't. You'll vaporize yourself. Peter looked up, his voice breaking through the static. If Carol lied to save us, maybe I can tell the truth to stop them. He slammed both hands into the ground. The energy ripped outward like a wave, connecting every signal, every beacon, every pulse back to him. The sphere above flickered. For a moment, the light dimmed. Then came a whisper, through his mind, through space, through time. You think this ends with you? The moon sphere split open, revealing a glowing core, a living star with eyes. It wasn't a machine. It was something alive. The same thing Carol had met. And it was smiling. The Avengers were never told. The sphere stopped smiling. It began expanding instead. The rings rotated faster, peeling open like a blooming steel flower. From its core, golden strands of data light shot out across space like spiderwebs, seeking, scanning, locking. Earth's atmosphere rippled. Satellites began failing one by one. The ISS went dark. Communication blackouts spread across continents. Peter collapsed on the Avengers' compound floor, convulsing. Strange held a containment spell around him, barely holding his suit's energy discharge. It's sinking with him. Strange shouted. It's rewriting his bioelectric code, using Peter as a neural anchor. War Machine's voice cut through. Then we cut the anchor. No, Peter gasped, veins pulsing blue. If you sever it while it's live, it'll backfire and fry the entire Earth grid. EMP fallout. Worse. The system was speaking through Peter now. Every breath came with static. This world has not yet accepted what it is. What is it? Rhodey barked. Data, Peter asked. Unprocessed life. Memory. Evolution. The sphere is trying to format the planet. Strange's eyes flicked to the control board. It's converting organic life into computational layers. Not killing us, converting us into living storage. Peter coughed blood. That's what Captain Marvel promised them. The best version of humanity preserved. Strange leaned in close. But she didn't tell them one thing. Peter blinked through the glow. What? Strange whispered, that we fight back. He turned and began tearing through reality. The floor beneath them split into a pocket portal, revealing the hidden vault, level black. Only 3 people had ever entered it. 2 were dead. 1 was now glowing with alien light. Inside the vault was the only thing strong enough to block the signal, the Vox Sentinel, an anti-code device built from Stark's final off-world tech and Wakandan vibranium neuromesh. A fail-safe built in case Carol ever went rogue. Rhodey stared at it. Tony said it would scramble any living beacon. Strange nodded. It was never meant for her. It was meant for what she might bring back. Peter crawled toward it. Hook it to me. Fast. Strange hesitated. It'll burn through your nervous system. Do it, Peter growled. I'm already not human anymore. They activated the device. The moment it connected, Peter's body went stiff. The glow stopped. The suit flared, then froze. And then, a scream filled the chamber, not Peter's. The sphere above Earth jolted in orbit. Its petals retracted like it had been stung. The data line snapped. Peter dropped limp. For 5 seconds, Earth fell silent, until the sphere responded, not with weapons, but with memory. All over the planet, Carol Danvers reappeared. Not in person, in recordings. Messages, projections, holograms. Every digital system began playing her face like a virus. Hospitals, schools, phones, satellites. Carol Danvers smiling. Earth is eligible, she said. I made sure of it, but you were never meant to know why. Peter stumbled to his feet, rage and horror blending in his veins. She left a back door and everything, he muttered. The whole time we thought she was protecting Earth. She was preparing it. He pulled up Stark's archive systems. One by one, every Avengers tower, every SWRD base, every Wakandan satellite, all had faint traces of the same signal. Just like his suit, she's been laying the foundation for years. Strange's tone turned grave, and not even the council knew. Peter shook his head. She didn't trust them. She didn't trust us. She trusted her plan. Outside, the sphere began deploying physical objects, pods, thousands of them, launched silently into Earth's atmosphere. They looked like comets, streaking across the sky in slow motion. The Avengers scrambled. Thor returned from the Bifrost. Hulk stood ready in Geneva. Wakanda sent up sky shields. Nick Fury called from an orbital wreck with 1 good eye and 3 broken satellites. Whatever Carol started, Fury said, we're not going down with it. What's our play? Peter stepped forward, voice hoarse. We hit her signal at the source. She left something behind, something I wasn't supposed to find. Fury narrowed his eye. Location. Peter looked toward space. The moon, beneath the sphere. I think that's where she still is. Fury didn't flinch. You better be sure. I am. Because she left me a second message. One I didn't see till now. He played it. Carol's voice, softer this time. If you're hearing this, Peter, then the sphere chose you. But they lied to me too. What I thought was a test was a trial. And I didn't win. I became their voice. A pause. Find the core. It holds their memory. Destroy it, and you might wake me up. The video glitched and ended. Peter turned. She's trapped. Or corrupted. Either way, she's the key. Strange opened a dimensional door to the moon. Then let's go pull her out. They stepped through. They landed in darkness. Inside the sphere wasn't mechanical. It was living. The walls pulsed like veins. Lights moved like cells under a microscope. The air was breathable, almost too breathable. They weren't alone. Dozens of figures lined the interior, humanoid, but wrong. Their eyes glowed. Their skin shimmered with alien light. They didn't attack. They just watched. Their echoes, Strange said. Stored souls, frozen between biology and machine. A glowing bridge formed beneath them, leading to the core. It looked like a star, but shaped like a heart, beating, remembering. Carol stood in front of it. Not a hologram, not a memory, the real her. But she didn't blink. Peter called out, "Carol." She didn't answer. He stepped closer, slowly. He said, "If I found the core, I could wake you." She raised her hand, not to attack, but to touch him. And for a moment, her eyes flickered back to human. "You came," she whispered. "I didn't think you would." "I almost didn't," Peter said. Carol blinked like something inside her cracked. "It's too late. They've started the download. My mind, it's almost gone." Peter gritted his teeth. "Then we stop it." He pulled the Vox Sentinel from his chest, the fail-safe, and jammed it into the core. The sphere reacted instantly. The glowing figures shrieked. The bridge collapsed. Strange began chanting to hold the space together. Carol screamed, not in pain, in release. The core cracked, and the sphere above Earth shut down. Every pod fell from the sky like glass. The signal ended. The memory purge stopped. But the core collapsed inward. Peter reached for Carol, pulling her back just as the star heart imploded. They both flew backward. When he opened his eyes, they were back in the Avengers compound. And she was breathing, alive. But barely. She opened her eyes, just long enough to whisper, "You don't know what's coming next." Then darkness. And outside Earth's orbit, behind the moon, something else blinked awake. A second sphere, darker, colder. Listening. Captain Marvel's other life. Carol Danvers didn't wake up in a hospital. She woke up inside a memory that wasn't hers. As her body healed on the Avengers compound medbed, Strange ran containment runes over her pulse. Her brain was still connected to something, not the sphere anymore, but something deeper, dormant, older. Peter sat at her side, hands shaking. "Can she hear me?" he asked. "Not with her ears," Strange replied, "but maybe with her guilt." They had saved her body, not her mind. But Carol wasn't in a coma. She was somewhere else, inside a vault of experiences that didn't belong to Earth. Inside her mind, she walked through cities she had never seen, suns she had never felt, a council chamber that hovered in deep space, built from crystal and gravity. Around her sat beings from galaxies without names, tall, thin, glowing, shifting. This was the council, not of heroes, of architects. They didn't fight wars. They didn't build weapons. They rewrote timelines to prevent war from ever starting. She had stood here once before, years ago, when she vanished during a Kree mission. No one remembered. That was the point. They showed her the fate of millions of worlds that failed, extinct, erased, converted into data. They offered her one bargain: protect Earth by preparing it, or watch it fall in chaos. She agreed. Back then, she believed it was mercy. Now inside this memory, she heard their voices again. "You failed," one said. "You let the seed resist. The spider broke protocol," another whispered. "He inherited your defiance." A third, more ancient voice hissed, "You infected him with choice." She turned. "You lied to me. You said Earth would survive." "It will," they said, "just not as it was." Carol backed away. The chamber dissolved into smoke. In the real world, she jolted upright. Peter caught her before she collapsed. Her eyes were wide, glowing for a split second. Then human again. "You're back," he whispered. "I never left," she rasped. "They kept a part of me. I saw their real plan." Rhodey and Strange entered. Carol looked at them, guilt carved into every muscle of her face. "I made a deal," she said. I thought I could cheat them, give them Earth's data, but not its soul. Strange frowned. That second sphere, they sent it because we resisted. Carol nodded. The first was the test. The second is judgment. Peter stepped forward. Then we hit it before it hits us. Carol hesitated. No, she said. That won't work. Because they've already sent something worse. A projection formed above them. Carol's memory of a creature descending through a black sun. No armor, no tech, just flesh, pure and perfect. A host. They only send it once, she whispered. When a world is ready to be overwritten. Rhodey tensed. How long do we have? Carol didn't blink. It landed 2 days ago. They were already too late. The lie was the shield. The host arrived like a ghost through the ozone. No ships, no crash. Just a single figure walking out of a lightning storm over the Pacific Ocean. Barefoot on water. Towering, skin like stone, eyes empty. And where it walked, the clouds parted like it was parting the fabric of reality itself. It didn't speak. It didn't kill. It just looked. And systems across the planet began failing, not from attack, but from submission. Code bent. Satellites surrendered. Even Stark's AI archives started rewriting themselves. It wasn't here to destroy Earth. It was here to overwrite it. The Avengers met at the edge of the sphere's last shadow. Peter stood armored again, bruised, half-glowing. Carol stood beside him, human again, but broken. I brought it here, she said. Now I have to end it. Peter grabbed her wrist. You're not doing this alone. You don't understand, she whispered. The host doesn't kill. It rewrites. If it touches me again, I won't come back. That's why you can't go, Peter said. I can. She looked into his eyes. You'll die. I was supposed to, he said. When I opened the beacon. Strange floated above them, already chanting his final spell. Wanda arrived silently. Thor's hammer hummed with warlight. The team stood ready, not to win, but to delay, to give Peter one shot. The host raised its hand. A pulse spread across the battlefield. Vibranium shattered. Clouds turned to static. Every mind on Earth felt it. Peter ran through it. His body cracked under pressure. His suit melted. His memories flickered. But the Vox Sentinel core still burned inside him, now stabilized, fused with the alien code Carol had left behind. He wasn't just Peter anymore. He was the proof. And proof doesn't bow. He reached the host. Their hands touched, and the world froze. In that moment, time collapsed. Peter saw everything Carol had seen. The council, the spheres, the test, the lie, and the truth. Earth had never passed the test. It had failed, but he was the variable. He did what no other chosen had done. He chose to remember. He chose to resist. And that broke the cycle. The host staggered. Its form began cracking, glitching, unraveling. Peter's final thought before the light exploded was simple. If you can rewrite the world, so can I. The explosion didn't spread. It folded. A reverse singularity, pulling the sphere, the host, the echo of the council, and the corrupted code with it. Peter vanished. So did the threat, and silence returned. Days later, the world resumed. Power returned. Signals cleared. The sky healed. Carol stood atop the rebuilt Avengers Tower, eyes red, fists clenched. They asked her to explain. She didn't. She just said one thing. Peter Parker died, proving we were more than memory. But a week later, a beacon blinked again. Not on Earth. In deep space. A signal. A voice. Faint. Human. Laughing. I told you not to open the suit.